After the boss learned of his son's death, he gathered all the perverts in the village. A brutal massacre was about to take place. They took unrecognizable steps and quickly blocked the car of 3 people on the shortcut. Then, there was a crazy output, but they didn't expect that the car didn't stop at all. The boss seemed to have underestimated the people in the car, so he ordered his men to check it out. However, when he opened the car door, he found that there was no one in the car at all, only a stick sitting inside. The boss then knew that he was trapped. In order to get help from the outside world, they came to the residence again to look for the map and the phone. But when they came here, they searched the whole room and couldn't find it. They didn't even know where the president was hiding. In order to have enough time to let them continue to look for it, the big sister came downstairs to observe the situation outside. But she didn't expect to welcome the perverted boss. Seeing the prey flying in the air, they started to dance again. The young marshal looked at his sister's injured hand, and he finally stopped running away and came to the door with a shotgun. The young marshal cut off the shotgun that came to them. The boss saw that the other party had a gun in his hand, so he used a half-cigarette to trick another subordinate to check it out. However, when he slowly pushed the door open, the big sister kneeled on the ground to beg him for mercy. The man immediately let go of his guard, looking at the big sister begging, and the man frowning. However, when he was close, he didn't expect to welcome the perverted boss. Then the young marshal rushed out and made another shot, and shot him directly out of the door. Before the man turned around, the gun inside aimed at him again. The helpless boss planned to negotiate with the young marshal after seeing it. As long as he puts down the gun, he can spare them. The young marshal seemed to be a little moved when he heard it. But this time, Xiao Mei's appearance caught the boss's attention. The boss's action forced the helpless subordinate to break into 2 pieces. It was not easy for him to go on like this. The big sister saw the 2 lovers loving each other, so she made a bold decision. Just when the perverts were praying for the dead subordinates, the big sister bravely rushed out of the door. In order to protect the 2 of them, the big sister deliberately attracted the attention of the perverts. She ran and shouted, but they didn't chase after her, but stayed still and watched the prey run away. The prey was caught in their grasp, so the boss sent the fat man to come to the big sister with the saw. The helpless big sister could only let the fat man brutally push her away. Seeing the prey struggling, they were satisfied. Then the boss picked up the hunting gun and shot him in the head directly. However, this cruel scene was clearly seen by the young marshal and Xiao Mei. In order to keep Xiao Mei alive, the young marshal found a cellar in the house. There was a large amount of white wine in it, so the young marshal broke all the alcohol and planned to attract them in. Then he threw the bulletless hunting gun outside the door and said he had surrendered. They saw that there was no threat and followed the young marshal to the corner, and Xiao Mei took advantage of this opportunity and finally ran out. The young marshal took a bottle of wine with anger and threatened them to put down their weapons, otherwise he would light the bottle of wine and die with them. But this didn't seem to scare the boss, but laughed at the young marshal for not having the courage at all. The young marshal lit the bottle many times, but never lit it. It turned out that these were not wine, but the horse urine they sucked. In this way, the poor young marshal died with his own stupidity. Xiao Mei heard the cries of her boyfriend in the house. Even if she was sad in her heart, she dared not stop walking. When they came out, she still stood far away and watched quietly. Xiao Mei stood still without a moment's hesitation. When she picked up the mud on the ground, a landmine suddenly appeared at her feet. However, when she didn't know what to do, a white rat happened to appear. Xiao Mei thought the white rat was coming to help her. Unexpectedly, the next second she dug into her pants.